Good morning, everyone. How's it going? Today, we're going to be introducing Tao, which is a coding agent that is designed to be educational and to help you build your own coding agents. So, the objective of this project is not to make it compete with established agents like Pi or OpenCode, but to use it as an educational resource to help you understand how coding agents actually work. So, very quickly, Tao is designed like Pi. So basically, it is the same architecture as Pi, but written in Python. It has the same minimalist system, the same default tools, and it also mirrors a little bit the design that it uses in the architecture. So we have the Tao AI layer, which is basically the layer that uniformizes all the inference providers. We have the Tao agent layer, which is the one that actually makes sure that this is an actual agent loop. So it's just the one that executes the tools, appends new messages to the session, etc. And then we have the coding agent layer, which is the final layer, which includes the actual tool definitions, the terminal user interface, the session persistence, compaction behavior, and basically all the user experience that you actually see when using Tao. And we're going to be explaining this a little bit more in more detail in later videos, but I just wanted to make clear that this is very minimalist and very straightforward for you to understand what's actually going on. So in the coming weeks, we're going to be publishing a bunch of tutorials about how this harness works and what decisions we have made design-wise to make it approachable and useful to you. So in the future, you can start building your own extensions, your own user interfaces, your own harnesses by mirroring the architecture or the design of Tao. And just for the record, Mario has also mentioned that this is basically like Pi, but more minimal for educational purposes and in Python. And also for the record, we have his blessing, which is amazing. All right, so let me give you a very quick tour about how Tao works and what you can do with it. If you have already worked with Pi, you probably already expect all of the functionalities and all of the user experience with it, because it's pretty much the same thing actually. At least I try to copy everything from Pi, but of course implemented in Python and making it a little bit more minimal. So once you install Tao, in order to install it, you do uv tool install, and then you do Tao-AI like this. That's going to install the latest version of Tao. Okay. And once you have done that, you're going to be able to run Tao just by doing Tao like that. And when you open Tao, it shows you a window that looks a little bit like this. So on the sidebar, you have your session with the provider selected, the model selected, the thinking mode that is selected as well, the number of tools and the number of skills. The number of tools are also listed right here. As you can see, there are only 4 by default. You can, of course, create your own tools. I'm going to show you that in further videos, but it is very minimal, as you can see, and it is inspired by the tools from Pi. It's basically a Python implementation from the tools in Pi. Here are the skills that I myself have in my project, and the custom prompts that I have also added, and the context files as well that are loaded. In my case, I only have my agents.md file. Okay. And right here, I can start typing. The thing right here is that when you install Tao for the first time, you're not going to have any provider configured. So what you're going to want to do is to /login like this. And that's going to prompt you to select either a subscription or an API key provider. If you want to use, for example, a Hugging Face inference provider, so for example, you want to use GLM 5.2 or Minimax or Kimi, you're going to go right here to Hugging Face inference providers, click enter, and add your Hugging Face API key right here. Now I have already done it, so I'm going to click escape to not override the key that I have selected. And then in order to select the model that you want, you just do /model. And right here, you can select. So for example, I'm going to do GLM 5.2. And that's the one that I'm using. You can also select your scoped models. So in order to have like shortcut models or models, your favorite models in a sense, you do scope models like this, and you can select the models that you want. So in this case, I'm going to add GLM 5.2 to my scoped models. I'm also going to add Kimi K2.7 because I really like that one, and Minimax M3. I can also use my cursor. I can just so I can just click on it, and that's basically all there is about this. And now that these are my favorite models, I can just do Control P to select them differently. Okay, so just loop around them. So in this case, let's select Minimax M3. And there you go. That's basically how you start and get going with this. So you can select your sessions. So in this case, I'm just going to resume my session doing /resume. And I'm going to select this one, which is a PR that I was working on just a moment ago. And this PR just adds custom prompts to you, so you can start using custom prompts for issue and create a PR. And there you go. And I can just ask it to validate and merge this PR on GitHub. And there you go. And after that is done, here I can also change my thinking level. So I have medium, high, extra high, off, etc. Depending on the model that you're using, this might be or not available. Thinking model mode, of course. And here you can just go about the entire. I here have the messages that appear. It's very straightforward, as you can see. Let me just give it a little bit of time for it to finish doing this, and I'm going to show you a few more commands and how the sessions are stored so that you can see how this whole thing works. So there you go. As you can see, it's very straightforward. I would encourage you to contribute to the project if you want to learn more about how to build this. It is a very educational project, and will be, of course, making tutorials whenever I see that something deserves more attention, and if there is some architecture or design aspect of it that deserves to be explained, I will be making tutorials about it. I will be showing you how to create your own terminal user interface very quickly, and other kind of interfaces as well, how to deploy this as a background service with a gateway so that you can chat with these kinds of agents over Telegram, etc. or Slack. And yeah, just a bunch of tutorials coming up about this. And the idea is, of course, to make it very educational. So part of this is to have you contribute to the project as well. So I would encourage you to go right here to GitHub and go to the repo. And as you can see in the source code, it is very, very, just like very simple, as I mentioned before. So you have the Tau AI layer, which is the one that uniformizes all the model providers so that all of them have the uniform interface to connect to the agent. The Tau agent is the harness, or basically the agent loop, which will continue looping through the LLM until it finishes or gets a final response for your task. And this one right here will basically just take your query and make sure to send the query to the language model, execute any tools, append the tool results to the session, and return the final message to you. And then the Tau coding part is the one that is a little bit more complex, because this one is the one that includes the terminal user interface and a bunch of other things that actually make this more a coding agent, not only a harness. So basically, it includes the tools that it has available, the system prompt. Maybe we will be adding some skills in the future, but the idea is to keep this very modular and very easy to build on top of. So that is what is happening right here. I would encourage you to contribute if you want to. I'll probably make a video about how to contribute if you want to have more detailed instructions, but as you can see, it's very straightforward. So without any further ado, please do let me know if you have any questions about this and if you are interested in building more of this. So thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you experimenting with Tau. I'll be here to answer your questions. Thanks a lot, and see you in the next one.